I'm going to use this under the Fair Use Act. Now, this is just a video that I pulled up from the last round of fires that occurred in California, and see what's happening. Now, I want to point you to the scriptures that I've been teaching in depth about, which is Luke chapter 12, verse 49, about the fire, how the Lord would send fire and division, but also in Revelations chapter 17, what it speaks about there, uh, about how he would put it in their hearts to burn her with fire. So this is just a small example, and I'm doing this so that everybody can wrap their minds around this teaching, this new teaching that I've done, because this is a completely new school of thought. What I've taught about this and what I've revealed to the world is a completely new school of thought. Now, I'm doing this again, and this began when I started talking about the blue and the red waves, like in the times of Noah, and this goes far back to the beginning when I started making videos about this. And this is just another means of helping you to understand that this is the way that the Bible was supposed to be read, the true discernment of the things that were sealed away for its given time that was given to me to share with the world. Now, many people have been able to understand this, and you've even now seen the false prophets. They've even began to understand this new school of thought that came from me, because they were talking about actual tsunamis. Timothy Dixon and Perry Stone and all these ones were saying there would be actual tsunamis and floods like in the times of Noah. But then they started studying and realizing that what I was teaching was the truth. So many biblical scholars and leaders, church leaders, now are teaching this properly, how to rightly divide and discern the word in its true nature, how it was meant to be understood. Now, this video that I'm going to give you is very good in helping you to understand my prophecies, the things that I have prophesied. Remember, I did all the videos about the fire and the water, the relationship to fire and water, and also its relationship to Luke 12, verse 49, but also to Revelations 17, beginning at verse 15, about how the waters are not actual waters, that they are the peoples, nations, multitudes, and tongues. And later in that I think a verse or two down, how it would put it in their hearts, put it in the hearts of the wicked to burn her with fire. So this is very important to understand, and this video is going to also show what Donald Trump and his Democrat friends were attempting to do to people here in the United States on January the 6th. They wanted to do this same thing to trigger a set of events to do exactly what's going on over here in Kazakhstan. Listen closely to what is occurring there.
Says he has authorized his security forces to open fire without warning on protesters he calls terrorists. That after Almaty and other major cities endured another night of demonstrations and violence. Here is what a defiant president, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, had to say in a televised address to the nation.
The counter-terrorist operation continues. The militants have not laid down their arms. They continue to commit crimes or prepare for committing them. The fight against them should be completed. Whoever does not surrender will be eliminated. There is a lot of work ahead to analyze the tragedy that happened to us, including from the social-economic point of view.
Now, authorities say at least 26 people were killed overnight, including several police officers, and 3,000 others were arrested. Troops from an alliance led by neighboring Russia have entered Kazakhstan to help security forces put down the unrest.
The streets of Almaty, scarred from the worst violence to hit the country in 30 years. Kazakhstan's largest city has become ground zero in a deadly battle against what many here see as a crooked government.
We want to tell the whole world that the only thing flourishing in Kazakhstan is corruption.
The protests began over hiking fuel prices, but decades of corruption and inequality have fanned the flames of rebellion across the resource.
Did you hear that? Have fanned the flames of that fire and division. Luke 12:49, and also Revelation 17. Continue to listen.
Nation. Scenes like this in Kostanay region, just 200 kilometers from the Russian border, are being watched closely by Moscow, which fears the uprising could pose a threat to the stability of the region.
Russia shares a 7,000-kilometer border with Kazakhstan. That border is not especially protected.
In response, the Kremlin has heeded President Tokayev's calls for help and sent more than 2,000 troops to help put out the fire on Russia's doorstep.
Did you hear that? To put out the fire. The peoples, nations, multitudes, and tongues, which are the waters, have now gone over there to put out the fire. Understand that. This is exactly what Donald Trump and the Democrats were attempting to accomplish in the United States on January the 6th, and have continued to create that division. And that division is only going to separate the wicked from the body of Christ. This is what's important. This is why I teach about being still, finding those still waters. What it talks about in Psalms, and what it also talks about how the Lord wants you to be still and know that He is God. So, see, this is exactly what I'm trying to teach, how to wrap your heads around, your minds around how the Bible was meant to be read, like in the times of Noah, the fire and the water, and to understand what the fire and the water actually is that will destroy the wicked. And this is why I teach you as the body of Christ, you must be still, because this is what Donald Trump and them wanted to do. And this is why he has lost so much support, because instead of Donald Trump, instead of pardoning the Proud Boys and some of these other groups that came to support him, they found out that he refused to pardon them, but ultimately had pardoned many corrupt Democratic leaders that were in jail. He commuted their sentence and pardoned many of them. There was one of them, he was a mayor or senator or something of Chicago, I believe, and he was looking at spending the rest of his life in prison. And Donald Trump set him free, as he did with many other corrupt Democratic people. And when he did that, people realized that he was never a Republican, that his whole goal was to create that division, to make people worship him on the Republican Party, and to create more division. So I hope this helps you to understand this new school of thought that I have taught, if you didn't already. God bless.